strength, and tenderness. So in 1 Samuel 16, verse 18, we see a description of David. And the reason this is happening is that the king is having bad dreams. And the Lord has actually sent the Holy Spirit to stir him up a little bit, because the king needs to summon David to his court. Because what the King Saul doesn't know is that Samuel has anointed young David as king. And why does David come to court? Because in verse 18, we learn that David can do a few things. He can play the harp, right? So he can play soothing music like an artist. He is able to be valiant. He's a warrior. He's brave. So he's not just like this sweet artist. He's also tough and strong. He can grab a sword. We're going to see him fight some Philistines pretty soon. And then also he's good looking. It's just something, right? There's very few times that the Holy Spirit comes upon people in the Old Testament, like less than 100 actually. And so David is good looking, and part of that I really do believe is because the Holy Spirit came upon him and dwells within him. And when your body becomes a temple, you start to be the reflection for the Lord. So why does all this matter? Well, because I really do think that in this society we have this question on strength and tenderness. They have to be one or the other, right? Especially as men, we're told that you have to be one or you have to be the other. You can't be both. You're not able to be soft and sensitive and also strong. But in the Bible, David is one of those examples of people who are both soft and strong, the warrior and the artist. He has to be able to pick the right songs, play the right instruments, soothe the sheep, right? But then also when a bear comes, or when his king is disturbed, or when there is a war, or there is a fight, he has to be brave enough to go in. Put aside that sensitivity when he needs to be stronger, but also use that sensitivity as a strength. And David isn't the only one we see that. In other of my reading, I'm with Joshua, and Moses has passed away, and Joshua is leading. And one of the things the Lord constantly says to Joshua at the beginning is, be strong and courageous, I am with you. And that's because Joshua is also this tender man who's also a warrior. He's fought tons of battles, but he just lost his best friend, his friend who has been with him through so much, traveling the desert, the wilderness, parting of the sea. He's brokenhearted. He's compromised, but not by the Lord. The Lord strengthens Joshua and shows us once again how tenderness and strength are created by God, and they exist because of God. And then my final place there is Jesus Christ. There's no better example than God himself as man when we see strength and tenderness in one person. The man who is able to stand up to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the political powers of the world, those Roman officials, yet at the same time be loving enough for the children in the community that he served. Strength and tenderness in men. It's a message that God gives us with lots of examples, and it's one that this world tries to bury, because in this world they want us to be one or the other. But through Christ, all things are possible, and through God we can be what he needs us to be. So when you get called up and you're summoned, be ready to be tender and strong. Happy Sunday, chatting at Cheesman.